Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Farlands or Bust. This is episode 588 for your Friday, May 6th, 2016, as Wolfie gets us started on today's episode with the trademark woof. Well, it's not trademarked specifically, but let's just say I don't quite have the business acumen to do such things as these, but we all know it, we seen it, we heard it, and we are ready to begin, like I said, episode 588 of Farlands or Bust, walking to these far lands. I just realized my pickaxe is about to die. Oh well, we'll deal with that when we deal with it. But yeah, we'll be walking to these far lands west here in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. And as we do so, we raise money for Child's Play charity. If you go to the website address, the URL, on the World Wide Web, www.farlandsorbust.com, you will see a donation box, a tracker that lets you know how far we've come and how close we are to our goal, and also a big old button. A big old donate button where you yourself can support Child's Play charity, who helps get toys, books, games to kids in hospitals around the world, amongst other things. Recently starting to team up with Game Changer charities to help in their efforts as well. All very helpful and just interesting and things that I want to support, and I'm glad that you guys are supporting. So far, the support you've shown this season 6, is for $32,810.89, going for $60,000. Like I said, season 6, and I appreciate the continued support, the continued questions, which with most of those donations, when you ask a question, when you give a donation rather, strike that, reverse it. When you give a donation, you can ask a question in the comments, and I will add it to the list. Got quite a list here of questions to answer in a future episode of Farlands or Bust from donors. A little bit of a perk there, but the real perk is, like I said, you're helping get toys, books, games to kids in hospitals around the world, and helping support that cause, and helping to show your support here even for this journey. This is a journey to the Farlands with our dear friend Wolfie here. Quick reminder, I mentioned at kind of the end of the last episode, but if you missed it, this Monday, May 9th, 2016, is the transit of Mercury for the vast majority of my viewing audience in the European countries, as well as the North American countries and locales. You will be able to witness the transit of Mercury across the sun, similar to the transit of Venus, but Mercury being much smaller makes it a little bit more of a difficult thing to observe. Whereas with the transit of Venus, you could look at it with eclipse glasses that protect your eyes from looking directly at the sun. Mercury is much smaller, and you do need actually some magnification. Solar protected, with a solar filter protected magnification, either via astronomical binocular or telescopic. What you should really do is, if you don't have a telescope or binoculars equipped with solar shields, find and search out your local astronomy club, as many of them will set up public observing situations during the day. You know, it happens in the middle of the day, in the morning for the West Coast, and in the middle of the day for the East Coast. Take a lunch break, figure out where your local astronomy club is setting up, Kavlove, and go pay them a visit and take a gander as the innermost planet crosses betwixt us and the sun, for quite an interesting treat. Treat indeed. It starts at 11:12 a.m. Universal Time. Do your conversions. Whether or not, regardless, you're on your daylight savings or whatever, just do your conversions. Do the math. Its maximum, that is when it's in the center, quote-unquote, most point of its travels across the sun, is at 14:57 Universal Time. That's 2:57 p.m. Universal Time. And then it leaves the circle of the sun at 1839. It's a long duration event, so you've got time to figure out when to see it. The big The big times for astronomers and observers are obviously the first and second contact. That's when it first crosses that border edge of the sun, and then the last contact when it leaves the edge of the sun. Kind of an interesting little way you can get a little bit more three-dimensionality out of the observing. I'm not sure. I've never actually witnessed it. It's more frequent than the Venus transit. Obviously, I saw that. But I've never attempted to or witnessed a transit of Mercury. So hopefully, I'm hoping to be able to find time to get out. Here in Arizona, it's already in progress in the early morning sunrise. So we'll see. But like I said, it's a long duration thing. It goes on 1839. What is that? That's still morning-ish. That's still going to be noon and 1 p.m. or 11 a.m. I gotta figure out my own non-summertime daylight saving situation here in Arizona. But yeah, we'll see. Just want to give a little bit of a reminder in case you maybe don't stick around till the end of why don't you stick around till the end of the episodes? But just wanted to mention that as we continue on. Also, I wanted to open. I kind of wanted to end with this, but I feel it's better to open. I learned this yesterday. We had a an evening Wednesday live stream on Twitch. I wanted to mention something that's of importance to my viewers, my dear Farlanders, those of you watching right now, is that this month of May, which I realize we're already in, but this month of May, I have decided to take what has been coined as a Kurtbatical. A Kurtbatical, a sabbatical, a hiatus, just for the month of May. I don't want to use the word indefinite or anything like that, because that sounds definite and infinite. Just for the month of May, I'm going to be taking a break, a needed break, and you know, I wish it wasn't needed, and I wish circumstances were different, obviously, but need to take a sabbatical, a little bit of a break, and that'll be throughout the month of May. So this, I am afraid, that also means break from Farlander's Bust. That means that this episode, that's why it's kind of a rare Friday episode, is just because I wanted to record it and get this out there. This episode 588, will be the last episode of Farlander's Bust I record for the month of May. We will return in June. June is an important month for Farlander's Bust. That's when it started to be called Farlander's Bust, and that's when it was officially started to raise money for Child's Play charity. It was in June 2011. So I don't want to miss that, but I just I need some time. I need some time to figure stuff out. And if the Twitch response, the little small audience I had on Twitch yesterday, where I kind of soft launched the idea of this, I felt nothing but support and understanding. So I appreciate that here as well. Let's feed Wolfie here. There we go. Good job, Wolfie. Let's actually not go off this cliff edge and try to find a little bit of a safer way down. But yeah, just a little bit of a break from videos and streaming. That also means that yesterday was the last stream on Twitch for the month of May. So no more Twitch Tuesdays and no more Farlander's Bust Fridays, obviously. This is your Friday Farlander's Bust fix. For the month of May. For the month of May is all I'm saying. I would have, I'd actually thought of this prior. I thought of it last month, but I didn't also figure in the fact that coming home from PAX Boston, I would be sick and missing a week. You know, that was the week that I was going to kind of wrap things up and make this announcement official. But I was sick, so I couldn't. So it's kind of delayed things a bit. But it's also been a good week to have off. Yes, recovering from a cold, but also it sort of reminded me that, yeah, this is a good idea. This is something I need, is a bit of a break, a clean break. I mean, you're still going to see videos. I still have, obviously yesterday we just started, or well, actually today will be another video. Episode 2 of my adventure once again with Dr. Brian Lorgon 111 through the Vanilla Swirl CTM in Minecraft 1.9. That's a very fun series to have recorded, and we have many episodes of that in the hopper for you to enjoy. So you'll still be seeing those. I don't think I'm going to be recording much, if anything else. I would like to still participate in like the Conelanders League stuff, whether or not it be the Dirt Rally or the new Assetto Corsa League. Whether or not I'll probably record stuff, I'm probably not going to commentate. I'm not going to do these things. I'm taking a break from entertaining. I'm taking a break from making content. I might record them. I might just upload the raw footage, the uncommentated footage, as I've done in the last couple races, because I was sick. But I do need to make sure that I force myself to just take a break and step back from making content, from the job itself, which I know is, I'm already like setting up like apologies and stuff like that. It's a luxury to working for myself to be able to just do this on my own, but it's also scary. You know, it's also something that, as a YouTuber, as anybody making any online sort of content on their own. Whoops, I fell down. Kurt fell down. It's a scary thing to take any sort of break of any duration, because that is prime potential to lose your audience and then not be able to recover from it. So it's scary stuff, but people, like I said, in the Twitch chat and online and wherever have let me know. My patrons, a few of my patrons will know that it's all right. And they'll be here, so hopefully you're here. And if you're not, that's okay too. You can make that decision too. But hopefully they'll be here in June when I return. But let's go to sleep, and we'll God skeletons. Continue in the morning. And Kurtbaticalness. And whoa, these guys are getting kind of close. You didn't get too close, man. You're too close. Yeah, I know. All right, let's let them expire, and then we'll continue on. Yep. You're next, guy. That guy did take a while. There he goes. Sorry, I was gonna say he did take a while to catch fire, to become one with the sun. He himself just had a little transit of his own through the sun. How am I at? I am not good for wool, actually. Let me grab some. There we go. Yoink. Oh, how about from your friend over here, too? I keep pressing control as if I can sprint. I think I'm playing too much of the new versions of Minecraft. So yeah, a little bit of a Kurtbatical. You know, don't see it as a bad thing. I mean, good and bad reasons. Obviously, I have many reasons, but yeah, I kind of also kind of preempted it with episode 586. Did I say this already? Where I was talking about developer crunch. That story came about, and I kind of mentioned talking about our individual capacities for work or effort, making the analogy about different engines have different rev limiters and red lines, and I feel like I need to let the engine cool a little bit here. I have... You know, it started to become an idea. I started to receive a few messages, and I do appreciate your messages, even if I didn't reply to any of them, just because that's a little bit of a barrier I don't want to break down. But I've received some messages through, like, the Twitch direct messages or Twitter or Patreon or wherever they may be, where people are like, "You're all right? You're doing all right?" You know, a few of your commentaries... you just say off things as jokes or whatever, or you seem to get frustrated. I seem to get frustrated at games a lot easier. That happened with Dirt Rally, and I think I kind of solved that, just my approach to Dirt Rally. But even other things, other new games I might be trying, I just get there's a fine razor's edge where it just tips off, and you tend to get a little bit angrier at games than really should be good for commentaries and things. And I'm like, yeah, I noticed that too, and maybe that means it's a good time to stop. Maybe in this time off, I will play games and not record, like I've been saying. I haven't done that for 5 years. Every time I've ever played a game, pretty much, in the last 5 years, have been to make a video out of it, or to stream it, or to share it, or to cause entertainment, which is fun too. Like I've always said, that's now how I enjoy games, and that's interesting and new for me, and it's a way I've rediscovered gaming. I really wasn't that big into gaming prior to starting YouTube, but maybe it's time, and it is indeed time. Not maybe, I'm definitely making time to step back and just try for fun stuff. You know, as I turn it back into a hobby a little bit. Obviously, I'll come back, and maybe I'll come back all renewed. People even recommended, oh, well, maybe you should try Kerbal Space Program again. One of the main reasons I'm so afraid to play it now is to do it for commentary and not be able to live up to any of those standards that have been set. Well, now I can be at ease and make it full screen. The 16:10 aspect ratio of my monitors be damned, and not worry about having Discord open or the microphone in front of my face. I can play it with my speakers on and not have these giant headphones on my head. You know, stuff like that. Other games, new games, different genres, you know, whatever. So that might be something that happens, and we'll see how that goes. And speaking of, I know a lot of... Ooh, that was close. I almost took that as a full fall. Speaking of patrons and stuff, certainly I don't want to feel like any of you are not getting what your being a patron for, pledging for is the word I was looking for. The way Patreon works, just as perhaps if somebody doesn't know, or they're new, or they're not a patron, when you pledge every month, you're pledging for the previous month's work in these monthly campaigns, which is kind of the new normal for Patreon. So on June 1st, you'll be pledging for the month of May, which is why the email you get says, "Thank you for your support of your creators in the month of May," is when you get charged for on June 1st. So if on June 1st, after this hiatus that I have, any patrons feel like maybe they didn't get the content that they were supporting, then by all means, it's completely within your capacity, and you're fully welcome to. And I would actually completely understand at this time, more so than any other, if you want to change that for May, and then maybe if I come back full-fledged in June, you change it back again or whatever. That's up to you. I may even, in the spirit of playing games for the sake of playing games, I'm probably going to be spending a lot of time on the patron server as just a patron, just as a person playing. There's a lot of help that needs to be done on the Wilson Hall on the patron server. I'll just join in there, and instead of worrying about making it interesting for viewers or content or subs or Twitch viewers, I'll just do it for myself or play together with people who are on there and collaborate and stuff. Who knows? So yeah, it's scary, it's exciting, it's interesting, and I'm looking forward to taking care of a lot of that stuff. And it goes beyond me needing to rediscover gaming. I need to take care of myself. I need to take care of my dog and other stuff happening here at home. I need to step outside maybe a little bit more before it gets to be 120 degrees here in Phoenix. Do some hikes, explore a little bit, exercise, just clean up the mess. Like my front room in this house is still filled with empty boxes and Amazon and Newegg boxes from when I built this new computer. That's just where all the stuff ended up, and I never cleaned it up or anything like that. Still don't have anything hung up on my office. A year and a half after living here, I have nothing, none of my art or pictures. I built these shelves. If you frequent my streams, you notice I got new shelves in the background. They're still empty. They've just got junk piling up on them, junk mail and old camera parts, and they're not acting as the shelves I purchased to shelve items of importance to me, to act as organizational structures in my room. They're trash attractors right now. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I'm looking forward to doing and taking care of in the month of May. So I appreciate your understanding and, of course, your continued support. One of the things I might want to look at is I've noticed it's slow going with the Farlander Bust charity ventures here. I'll have to look at that. I'm not like blaming you guys or viewers or a lack of donations or anything like that. Maybe I just need to reassess things, try to come up with different ways either to improve that or incentivize that, or look at alternate means of continuing what we started 5 years ago with this in June with this the charity goals and the charity aspect of Farlander Bust. Certainly going to still remain and continue to be a huge and primary part of the series. And we'll move forward with that, and yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that. And yeah, we'll go with that. So yeah, thank you everybody for listening to that little spiel, and I'm kind of glad I got that out of the way to begin with, so everybody would hear it. I'm still going to answer some questions here. We still got a day and a quarter of Farlander Bust and Minecraft to be walking here. Still got some progress to be made. Oh, speaking of which, I checked the if you want a number before the break here. of how large the world save is here on episode 588. It is 21,634.36 megabytes. Ooh, this is kind of a Canyon of Woe place. A Canyon of Woe. Woe! I'm intrigued by those two pumpkins looking out over all of creation. Let's go see if we can't navigate our way to them. So yeah, 21.634 gigabytes about of world save size here for Farlander Bust. This is neat. If I can get Wolfie to very carefully sit down here, I can take a nice picture. Oh yeah, oh, work it, Wolfie. Look up. No, that's as much. Dogs can't look up, can they? Is that the going meme? I guess. Yeah, that's as far as Wolfie can look up. All right, that'll be good. That'll be good. This is neat. This is neat. Be an interesting place to settle down and enjoy, but we won't be doing that, I'm afraid. A little quasi canyon of woe, more of a crater, more of an indentation than a canyon, I guess. But very cool indeed. Let's continue onwards. The sun is kind of setting though, so we might. Yep, there it goes. We might make our elevated hidey hole here on the rim, the crater rim. Woo! Let's see here. And then I do have a few questions we can get through. Look at all these pumpkins. It's the pumpkin crater. Pump crater. Pump crater? That doesn't sound right. The crater lantern. Credo lantern. There we go. Figured it out. Name figured out. All right, let's make this elevated. Whoops, elevated hidey hole. And then I'll get to at least some questions here, but the rest are going to stay on the list. And we'll get to them as soon as we come back. Worry not. Worry not, I say. That's a crazy arrangement of colors, is it not? Wait for the green flash. All right, let's go to sleep and continue in the morning. And what did I call it? Crate pumpkin? Pump crater? Pump? No, I've forgotten already, Wolfie. My mind is not as sharp as it never was. To be honest, it was never that sharp to have remembered something I said 90 seconds ago. Oh, man. Pixie Druid. Did I already do this last episode? Pixie Druid asked, did you have fun at PAX East? What was your favorite experience other than getting to meet me? Well, it was good to meet you. I met a lot of people at the Mindcrack booth. But, yeah, I don't know if there was, I could say, any specific moment. I don't really look for moments more so than just the entire experience is something to enjoy and to appreciate the time. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was cool going out and getting breakfast with beef the first couple days when we had time to do so. It kind of stinks that Good had early morning engagements, those interviews and stuff you're probably seeing him put up on any of the PAX days that he didn't get to hang around and have a lazy morning getting up in the morning like us. But those were nice, and that was like kind of outside of the PAX thing, meeting new people and hanging out. Yeah, it's hard to narrow down any one singular moment, but yes, if it makes you feel good, it was meeting you, Pixie Druid. I'm assuming at the Mindcrack booth, right? I think he doesn't remember. Oh man, our friend Cone Dodger has a question here. You've often stated that you aren't a competitive-minded person, but there's always been some flashes in the pan where you flip the competitive mode. You flip on the competitive mode. Switch flipped. Was there anything when you were a kid that got you obsessed over being the best at? Any childhood sports played? Some childhood sports played, not so much upon my own decision-making. I did the baseball, the little kiddie baseball, t-ball, and then parent pitch thing, but I never got much out of that. Sorry, mom and dad who signed me up for that, but I never made any friends. It was always just kind of a thing I did, and I don't feel like I learned, like, as little kids doing t-ball or whatever, they don't teach you specifically about the game of baseball and the rules. I never really knew the rules that well. I do remember distinctly at some point, what was I? I was probably like playing third base or something like that. And something happened, like there was somebody at second. I didn't understand. I caught the ball, somebody threw me the ball, and I tagged the base. And I thought I would get the person coming from second out. I didn't realize the whole force out rule. I should have tagged them, and then I was very confused and very sad that the person that I thought I had successfully achieved getting an out on was not, after all, out because I didn't understand the game. So there's a lot of that stuff that I really wasn't competitive. I don't think I ever followed the scores or any of the wins and losses or anything like that, or if they even, as a little tiny peewee league, if they even followed it. But no, I mean, there was that, and that was about it. Aside from your gym class stuff in school, I always I won a couple of like young author awards, so I guess I was always like a good writer, which is like not a sport at all, or good, So there's a little. I mean, but then again, it wasn't a competitive thing. It was just nice to be good at something. I wasn't competing against other students. I wasn't checking other people's writing to see if it was as good as mine. And this is like elementary, middle, and into high school or whatever. It was never a competitive spirit thing. So I think everybody likes to win at something, or be the best at something, or be first place or whatever at something. So that's probably just the ingrained instinctual competitiveness that might show when I'm doing something or doing a racing game or playing a competitive or a PvP game. But I don't let that, I don't put that to the forefront, I guess. If that answers your question. But certainly overall, nothing dealing with sports. Yeah, I considered in middle school, because I'm so tall, joining the basketball team, but again, that was just out of like, you're in middle school and now you can join sports, you should play sports, is kind of the going encouragement that one tends to get growing up. So it was just sort of a thing I thought of because of that, but I never actually did, because again, I knew nothing of the game of basketball. I learned more about basketball watching BOO and his NBA 2K series when he's talking about the different defensive moves and strategies and whatever, that I'm like, oh, whenever I just watch a basketball game, or I've been to a couple Bulls games in Chicago, it's just a bunch of people throwing a ball around and trying to get it in the hoop. I didn't realize there were all these very complex things going on behind the scenes. So yeah, that's a tough one to definitively answer or find any sort of anecdote specifically for. But once again, Cone Dodger, appreciate the donation and the question and all the other stuff, setting up this whole, even though it's got Farlander in the name, Cone Dodger is the one doing all the work, setting up these leagues, both in Dirt Rally and now in Assetto Corsa, which is even more and more complicated, and it's not there's no built-in league system in Assetto Corsa, so Cone Dodger's doing this pretty much all himself and with the help of some of the members there. So that's really cool, and hopefully I can still participate during the Kurtbatical. Spooner79 asks, have you ever considered any Twitch alternatives? I know that now you're kind of invested in Twitch with SubTub and all. SubTub! But I've been watching some LPers on Beam.pro, and I really enjoy it more than Twitch. It's one of those things I kind of wish I knew about all these things or maybe even was invited to these other alternatives before signing with Twitch. And that's another thing. I got to reread. Whoops, that's not how you use a boat. I got to reread that contract when I got this. You know, I had a really old... Come back here, boat. I had a really old partnership with Twitch, like back from Justin TV days, because I really started using it really quite early. So in order to get the sub tub, in order to get the sub button, I had to like sign a new contract, and there is like some exclusivity stuff in there, but I gotta just reread it because it doesn't sound as exclusive, and I'm sure it's different than everybody else's, and maybe they've relaxed it. Like I feel like I could try streaming on YouTube, or yeah, I don't know about Beam. That, you know, that's another alternative, and it seems interesting, and it's good that there are alternatives in competition. Otherwise, the top dog will just stagnate, as we've learned, YouTube, and cause nothing but problems in the future. So yeah, I certainly support anybody who does those sort of things. You know, I know a few people who work for the Beam site, and are quite enthusiastic and emphatic about it. Yeah, I'm not sure. It does seem a bit like YouTube launched YouTube Gaming and the streaming and then just kind of let it flop on the ground there. So I don't know if that's a viable option as well. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess I'm in the Twitch ecosystem now. I don't feel like I'm bought into or heavily invested in the Twitch culture. It's kind of... this was a kind of a thing I wanted to say last time about the Mindcrack booth and the Nerd Fusion booth, is how I like how it's very open, in that we're out there on the floor with the fans who decide to show up and meet us and talk and stuff like that. Yeah, sometimes we sit behind a table or whatever so that we have a place to sign cards and stuff, but I notice about the Twitch booth, there does seem to be a lot of exclusivity, and even in the Twitch booth, there's this whole separate roped off, and it's literally behind like plexiglass, where you know, your partners can go to hang out. This is for partners only. It's a little lounge, and you can get Red Bull or Monster or whoever sponsors them, and fans aren't allowed there, and that just seems really not the type of hierarchy that I want to promote. So I do feel like that's something that Mindcrack with our booth and Nerd Fusion we're getting right, and it's something that I think that one of the top things we're trying to maintain. It's more than just a place for us to stand behind a curtain and sell posters for and sign things at certain times. There's chairs outside for people to sit in and charge their phones, and you know, it's more of a meeting space than, say, a place to put ourselves on display behind plexiglass and somebody standing in front of a velvet rope or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, there's that aspect of it that I don't like about Twitch, amongst other things. But let's actually... that kind of semi-canyon of woe would have been a nice place to settle down, but let's do so here on this shoreline, maybe. If I can quickly find a place before it gets too dark. It's getting quite dark, and we're gonna settle down for a bit of a sleep here. Let's just do it right here, why don't we? Yeah, that's good. It'll give us a little place to dig a hallway into the side of the dirt here. I'll do that. Ooh, there's some nice, easy to dig gravel here. Oh, hi, Wolfie. Do you want to come in here? Because it's going to be a bit of a... Oh, good job. Beep. Pop. There we go. Neat. All right. It's going to be a little bit of a longer snooze than we normally have in our end of the episode hidey hole, so might as well let Wolfie inside. And in case it rains while we're away, we will, however, need to make this slightly larger because of our guest. Wow, good thing this was all diggable gravel and dirt, because my pick is about to break, so didn't even need to worry about that. So yeah, thank you everybody. I have so many more questions here, and I do apologize if I haven't gotten to your question that you've asked with a donation in the past couple weeks even. It might have to wait a little bit longer, but I will get to it, and I do appreciate your continued support. If you can remember, while I'm away to keep donating to Child's Play charity. In spite of not new episodes coming out. I mean, it would be really cool to see what numbers we have when I come back. That would be a really something that to be excited about. So if you want to do that, farlandersbust.com. Keep giving to Child's Play charity. Keep helping out that cause and the support for Farlander Bust and my stuff and my channel. You know, I know I kind of tend to separate Farlander Bust from myself as kind of a separate entity, a separate goal, but it is still very much myself. So I appreciate that, and yeah, I appreciate you sticking around, and I do look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Still videos coming out. Enjoy the thing with the series with Dr. Brian Logan 111, our Vanilla Swirl. It starts out a little bit slow, as he mentioned in the first episode, where we just have to acquire and build our knowledge and confidence and tools and armor. But once it gets going, oh boy, it's going to get going. You're going to see that. So it becomes quite the standard and difficult CTM map. I hope you guys enjoy that as well. And yeah, thank you so much for watching episode 588 of Farlander Bust. It was a good one, right, Wolfie? Indeed. Let's just light this place up like gangbusters. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time. Credo lantern, there we go.